Let's start with widening. We're going to do our toe widening. So like our fingers, as though our fingers were our toes, they're going to separate, widen from one another. And then you can let them release, come back to center. We'll widen the toes, feeling for a little bit of stretch. And we'll release. Let's do that a couple more times. You can move at your own pace. Just noticing, do the two sides of the feet, are they moving the same way? Maybe noticing that some of the toes move a little bit easier than some of the other toes. And then we'll let them release. We'll come back home and let's lift our toes and feel for the 4 points. So behind the big toe, behind the baby toe, and the back 2 heels. And then we'll lower the toes down. And as we lift the toes, just notice, feel how your whole foot is supported on the mat. And we'll lower down. Let's shift our weight to those front 2 points. We won't lift the heel, just a little shift forwards. And then let's shift our weight to the back 2 points. And then let's find an equal spot between those all 4 points. And you'll notice that that is over the arch of the foot. And then we'll come up the body. We'll notice that knees are straight but soft. And we'll have our pelvis stacked over the arches of the foot. And ribs, or you can think diaphragm stacked over pelvic floor, or you can think ribs stacked over pelvis, whichever those images works for you. And then we'll glide the chin in towards the throat. Feel the roof of the mouth hovering over the diaphragm. Arms are nice and soft. And if you've collected any tension within all those cues, just shake it out. Find a spot where you're not holding. And let's nod the chin in towards the throat. We'll soften the knees, we'll soften the breastbone, and let's roll all the way down, just checking in with the body. Notice how you feel. At the bottom, let's pause. Let's breathe into the back of the ribs. And as we exhale, feel the 4 corners of the feet, head and arms heavy as we start to lift from the ribs, rolling all the way up, stacking the vertebrae. And as we come up, let's just check in again with our standing foundation, find that internal dynamic alignment. We're always going to be shifting throughout it, but just being aware of where it is in space. Let's take a couple of breaths. If you want, you can hold your ribs if that's comfortable for you. And we'll inhale, feel sides and back of the ribs expanding. And exhale, feeling them soften. Breathing through the nose if you're able. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, notice the feet are rooted. Let's do one more time. Inhale, breathe. And exhale, release. Let's bring the arms down. Let's notice again this internal alignment, and we're going to start playing and shifting around, and we just want to see if we can find this alignment in the positions we move through. Let's lift the heels. And then we'll lower the heels down, and then we're going to bend the knees. Back is staying straight, so not a squat, like sliding down a wall more. And then we'll press through the feet, straightening the knees and lifting the heels. And we'll lower the heels and we'll bend the knees. Let's add our arms in here. So as we lift the heels, let's float the arms up in front of the body. We'll keep them in peripheral vision. As we lower the heels, we'll circle the arms around angel arms and we'll bend the knees. And down again, playing, seeing if you can feel for that internal alignment. As you move, you may notice that that internal alignment is helping a bit with your balance. Let's do a couple more. Inhale up. And exhale, open, bending the knees. And inhale up. And exhale, open, bending the knees. We're going to straighten the knees. Let's bring our hands into prayer pose at our breast bone, and let's bow. Feel the breastbone softening into the back space of the body, almost like you're bowing at a Japanese tea ceremony. And then we'll come through center and we'll shine the breastbone towards the sky. Back of the neck stays long. Let's add our breath onto this, coming through neutral. Exhale, breastbone softens. Feel your heart, the back of your heart expanding into the back body. And we'll inhale as we come up, shining the breastbone towards the sky. exhale, coming through center. Feel the breastbone softening. Can you open through the back body? And inhale, breastbone shines. Let's do one more of these in each direction, just warming up the upper back. Exhale, bowing forward. And inhale, up. Good. Let's lower the arms and then we'll open out to a T shape, feeling the width through the back. So arms are in front of the body. We're reaching with the arms out to the sides. And hip bones stay nice and square to the front. And we'll inhale as we rotate from bottom rib up. And we'll exhale as we come through center. Not forcing anything. Inhale, rotate. Just notice what's available to you. Notice what it feels like. Maybe there's a descriptor or two you can come up with for how this rotation is feeling. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. And remembering we're driving this movement. You look great, but just reminder that we're driving this movement from our spine. So arms keeping that same relationship with torso. So torso and shoulders aren't driving us. Let's lower down the arms. And we're going to bring the arms into a gunslinger type position. And then let's open the arms towards the back wall. And then add a bit of a rotation so your thumbs are pointing towards the back. And we're going to find a position where we're constantly thinking about this opening. So I'm constantly thinking that this of this movement coming towards the back wall, but not so much that it creates pain or like a lot of rigidity. So find where that spot is for you in your body. And then we're just going to shift the arms from side to side. Just reminding the body that the arm bone can sit more centrally in the shoulder socket. For so many of us, our arm bones sit forward in the shoulder socket, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, but we're just reminding the body that there's other positions too, because our body likes to feel lots of different positions. Okay, let's do a couple more. Breathing as you move. Good, and let's let that release. We're going to grab our theraband now. So we're going to do some standing work for the arms and shoulders. We're going to hold the theraband behind the back, and your palms are going to face forward. Okay. And from here, we're going to pull and widen the theraband, and then we'll let it release. So we just sort of found that new position for our arms just to hopefully create a little bit of a nicer position for this. Maybe it's helping us find a little bit more ease. Collarbones are nice and wide. We're stacked into our standing foundation. And let's exhale as we pull and inhale as we release. Pull. And you can play with the tension. We're going to do a whole series like this. So as we move through it, just play with the tension, find what's working for you. Let's do one more just like this. Good, we'll come in. So now we're going to apply just a touch of tension, so not quite as much as we were just doing. And then we're going to float the arms up. And then we're going to lower back down, and you're going to hold that tension as we lift and lower. And feel free at any time, if you're starting to fatigue, you can, when you come down, give it a little release, find the tension again and lift and lower. So I'll leave that up to you to feel that in your own body. Keep breathing as you move. Let's do 3 more like this. Excellent. We'll come in. We're going to just turn the palms so now they're facing to the back, and we're going to hold the theraband in the same spot, and we're going to repeat. So we're going to pull open and in, noticing again your standing foundation. So ribs can be hovering above pelvis, roof of the mouth hovering above diaphragm, finding that dynamic alignment, which is going to do a few things for us. It's going to help keep the hip stabilizers turned on while we're standing here. It's also going to help the core. It's going to make it a little bit easier to access core support, because when those muscles are in, that's sort of like the optimal length, I should say, for those muscles to be turned on. So it can be a little bit easier to find them. Oh, let's do 2 more like this. If you're like me, you're feeling a bit of muscle shaking, don't worry. Muscle shaking is totally fine. It's our body's way of trying to find a more efficient movement pattern. Now we're going to find that little bit of a tension here, and we'll do our lifts and lowers. Notice how this feels compared to when palms were facing forward. It changes it a little bit. Breathing as you move. Let's do 2 more like this. On our way down, let's just shake it out for a second. We're going to keep building on here, a couple more variations. Okay. So we're going to apply just a touch of tension again, like we were just doing. And we're going to lift the arms. And we're going to bend the elbows. Straighten the elbows. And lower down. And lift. And bend. And extend. And lower. Yeah, that's a good option that you're doing there. Lift and bend. You can add a pull, or you can do an external pull on them too, like widening the band if you want. And down. Lift, like if, yeah. And bend. In. Let's do 1 more like this. Oh, looks so simple, but feels like a lot. And bend. And straighten. And in, and we're going to finish off with just a couple more of those lift and lowers. So we'll apply a little bit of pressure, palms still facing back, and we'll just lift and lower. Yeah. And lift and lower. Lift and lower. Let's do 3 more. Lift and lower. Allow the shoulders to really soften. Lift. Lower. Lift. I can't remember if this is 2 or 3, so we're going to do 1 more for good measure here. And lift. And lower. Holy Ashley, what were you thinking? Let's shake this out. Let's put the band down. Sort of put it near the end of your mat. And we've got 1 more exercise without the band. We're going to hold our hands if this feels like a comfortable position to hold your hands back. You're not forcing anything. And we're going to bend our elbows. I'm going to turn to the side. Bend our elbows and straighten the elbows. And lift, doesn't matter how high you go, and lower. And bend and straighten and lift and lower. Let's do 2 more like that. Bend and straighten and lift and lower and bend and straighten and lift and lower. We're going to take out the bend and straighten. Let's just do 4 more of lift and lower. Lift and lower and lift and lower. 2 more. Lift. Who knew our arms were this heavy? 1 more. Lift and lower. Good. Let's shake that out. So we are going to next come to the end of the mat, and I'll give you a couple of options. So we're going to either roll down and walk out into a quadruped, a modified plank, or a full plank to do our shoulder blades widening and coming together. The other option too is that you can come up to a wall and you can stand away from the wall and you can do them against the wall, depending on how your upper body's feeling. I'm going to roll down and show you what it's going to look like. I'm going to do it in quadruped tonight. You're welcome to do, as I said, modified plank, full plank. Let's nod the chin towards the throat, feel the breastbone soften. We're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time, bending the knees. And when you get to the bottom, we're just going to walk the hands out, try and keep the torso nice and steady, and we'll lower the knees down. No matter what position you're choosing, feel that the ribs, the front ribs, are lifted ever so slightly towards the back ribs, and feel the length from crown of the head to tail. Let's keep the elbows straight. Let's sink the breastbone down towards the mat. And then let's push fingertips and heels of the hand or palms away as we widen the shoulder blades on the back. Inhale as we sink, and exhale as we push away. Inhale, sink. Exhale, push away. Inhale, sink. And exhale, push away. We're going to keep the shoulder blades wide on the back. Feel nice and long, chin gliding towards the throat. And let's see if we can bend the elbows a little bit, keeping the shoulder blades wide. And we'll exhale as we push away, fingers and palms engaged into the floor. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale, pushing away. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, pushing away. Let's come to a seated position and shake out our shoulders. That was hard work.